Class, we're moving right along. The next thing is your Photoshop assignment. I have sent you an email with the link as to where to download the assets. You will notice that it's the same link as everything else. All of those assets are in that one folder, so you can go there and download. You don't need to download things ahead of time. You can if you want. So now we're going to do our assignment. This is what you will be working on by yourself. So download these images, and it's all the things we've done in the lesson, or the lab, excuse me. So it's just with different images. So I'm going to start. You've got a sheet. I'm going to start and go down the list of the sheet and explain what it is that we need to do. It's in here, but I want to show it to you. So we'll start off with our baseball player, guy going into second base, and the ball is there. We want to move the ball further out so the runner can be safe. So we are going to then move the ball further away. We want to make sure it looks natural, that you can't tell where the ball was, and that you can't tell that you have moved the ball to another spot. You're going to be saving these as Photoshop files. I want to see the layers. I want to see the layer where the ball was, and you're going to duplicate that layer and then move the ball, so that you should have two layers on these simple ones, but you're going to be turning in the Photoshop file. Okay, our next image is going to be this little girl on the beach with her pail and her shovel, and we're just going to move her down the beach a little bit. So you can, and one of the things to keep in mind when you're doing this is look how the beach gets darker to the left, and we're going to move her to the left. So you want to cut her out, use the content aware tool, and then clean up where she was, and be aware of the sand, the broken up sand around her. Be aware of the horizon line, or the line of the surf. So keep all that in mind, and work on that until you get it the way you're happy with it. All right, so our next thing is we've got a young man who, it's a close-up, and he's got blemishes. We want to remove the blemishes. Now he's got moles. If you want to remove those, fine, but if you want to leave those to make it more natural, leave that. So what we want to use, and I suggest you use your healing brush tool, spot healing brush tool, to go and fix the blemishes that are on his face. The next one, this is a little bit more tricky. This sailboat, I need you to remove the letters and numbers on the side, but notice there is a shadow from one of the lines going through the letters. That shadow needs to stay. And the other thing we are going to do is, you can see that this is slightly warm because it was shot at sunset, and so we'll want to cool it up a little bit, take some of the red out. Think about when we put in our airplane over the child sitting on the hill and how we made the vapor trail. Think about that as to how you link your pieces of the shadow after you have removed the letters. Using the clone stamp tool, you can remove the letters, and then also you're going to want to use a adjustment layer to adjust the color of this picture as well, and just going to make it a little bit cooler as opposed to being warmer the way it is. Our next image is this fitness model. And so what we're going to do is turn everything black and white except the water bottle at the bottom. It's the same thing that you did with the balloons in our lab that we did. So the next thing is the traffic sign. I need you to change every place where it's red to a different color. Now be mindful of the inside of the O, the inside of the R, the inside of the A, and your bolts, to where it should look like something like this, except it's whatever color you want. Make sure you do layers. You're going to cut out the red, make a layer on that, copy that to a new layer. You're going to use an adjustment layer to change the color. And remember how you set the adjustment layer to where it only affects the layer below. And finally, we are going to combine two images, this field with the pond and this building, and we're going to combine them together to where the building looks like it's out beyond the trees. So you've got to think about your layers. How do you get it behind the trees and in front of the sky? You're going to want to cut the sky out, the trees out, and adjust the layers to where it fits. And then you're going to use your transform. Remember the free transform. You're going to use that to scale down the building to the size that you want, and then position it behind the trees to where it looks comfortable for you. That is what you need to do. If you're going to have any problems, or if you have any problems doing these things, please contact me and I can talk you through them and help you through. But if you need help with what we did before, go back and look at the video that we did for our lab and see the steps that we did on some of those, because all these are the same thing with just different images, maybe a slight twist here and there. So that's your Photoshop assignment. Finish this up and we're through with Photoshop. The next thing we will launch into is audio with Audition.